Hey folks, Country Prepper here. So going back with the prepping basics, I've been watching a lot of videos on different topics, and I noticed in a lot of those videos there are things missing. Very common items that preppers should be stocking up on. Now, these items will not pertain to everybody and not to every situation, but most of us are not prepping for one individual thing, no matter how much the Doomsday Prepper show made people go crazy about that. These are just general items that pertain to a good amount of people and several situations that most of us are prepping for. So let's get started. First thing on my list is trash bags, and this was one I actually bought to put in storage, but my 2-year-old daughter decided to rip the box open, take the end of the roll, and run to the other side of the house. So guess I'm gonna have to get a new one to put in storage, and I'll use those out in the garage. But sanitation is very important when it comes to even a shit hit the fan situation. Even if grid down, anything like that, sanitation is going to be important. So make sure you got a few extra boxes of trash bags on hand. Second thing that I notice a lot of people don't mention in their videos is glasses. That's right, I do wear glasses sometimes. I don't wear them all the time. I wear them when I'm out in the garage working on sheaths, or when I'm editing videos or reading, anything like that. I do wear glasses. They are prescription, they're not just reading glasses. But they do get scratched up, they do get worn out, things happen, they get bent, they can get damaged. You might want to have an extra couple of pairs on hand just in case you can't go get another pair when you need them. Next up is cleaning supplies, things like mops, brooms, dustpans. They get broken too, they wear out, things like that. Cleaners especially. We get these great big jugs of all-purpose cleaner at Home Depot, and it lasts forever. So if you have a couple extra jugs of that on hand, those are not very expensive. I can't remember what we paid for them, but I think it was less than $10. So for a great big jug of all-purpose cleaner like that, works for several things throughout the house, but especially like the kitchen and bathroom linoleum floors or tile floors, things like that. Good thing to have plenty of different kinds of cleaners on hand. And other things like this will go along with the next one is other cleaning supplies like let's say scouring pads and sponges, things to wash your dishes with, things to wash your clothes with. This goes right along with it is soap. Dish soap, bar soap, things like that. I notice a lot of people don't stock up on those, and once again, sanitation is going to be important. One of the reasons, like the Black Plague, was all because of really poor hygiene and really poor sanitation. So you don't want things like that. People get sick when sanitation goes down, when hygiene goes down, things like that. I'm going to talk about hygiene in a completely different video, and some of these other topics, some of these things that I'm talking about today, I'm going to do another video on and kind of expand on what I'm saying here today. But this is just kind of a general overview of those 10 common items that I see missed the most. Light bulbs. If you can't afford to just go ahead and put LEDs all through your house, they are kind of expensive, stock up on some light bulbs. These are not that expensive. They do last quite a while. These will cut down on your energy usage, so will LEDs even further. But like I said, LEDs are expensive, so if you can't afford to put LEDs throughout your whole house, those CFL, compact fluorescent light bulbs, are a good kind of intermediate light bulb instead of the standard, I can't even remember what they're called nowadays, but the regular standard round light bulbs. These are kind of a step up in energy savings at least, and they do last quite a while. So, lights are going to go out eventually, so it's a good idea to have extra light bulbs on hand. Another thing that you might want to think about, if it's not a grid down scenario, and like I said, this doesn't pertain to every type of event, your ceiling fans that have light fixtures, and I'm looking up at the light fixture up here in this room, it has 3 light bulbs in it. If things go all to hell, cut it down to at least 1 or 2. Back off, don't use all 3. Number 1, it uses a lot more energy, and 2, you're saving extra light bulbs that you could use down the road. So just an idea. Next thing on the list is drink mixes. I know all of us know we need to store water, but eventually you're going to want something that you're going to get bored with regular water, which I understand most people are going to say, it's a survival situation. You're just trying to get it through it. Well, it can be a huge morale boost to have something with some flavor to it that kind of reminds you of normal times. So, one of the things I like to have is this Amino Energy. It has caffeine in it, and that's another thing, caffeine, that people seem to forget about. If you have an addiction to caffeine, try going without it for a few days, and you'll want to stock up on some. But it has amino acids and recovery stuff in it. It's a great post-workout thing. I usually drink a glass of it after I go for my walks in the morning. Other little drink mixes. These are for the ones with, a lot of us stock up. I have one sitting right here. The big cases of bottled water. These, this size of ones, I think they're like 16.9 fluid ounces. These drink mixes work great for those, so get them in little individual boxes, and then we just kind of throw them all together so it's not taking up so much space in the cabinet or on our shelves in the basement. Coffee, big one. I've seen a lot of people do store coffee, but not everybody, and people seem to forget that, and especially that goes along with that caffeine addiction thing. The other thing that we have is a couple of these great big things of Gatorade mix. If you're having to go out and work outdoors gardening all the time so that you can produce food for your family, something like that could really help you get by. So, it's just something that it's not an absolute necessity, but it sure would boost your morale and sure would help you get through the day. And we're on to vitamins. I hardly see anybody stocking up on these, and I have to have vitamins, and it's because if you didn't know, I've been through chemo and radiation therapy for Hodgkin's lymphoma back in 2008, so my body doesn't, for some reason, especially vitamin D3, I am supposed to take that, 50,000 units twice a week because my body will not retain vitamin D for some reason. So I have to take those, so I have plenty of those on hand. I actually have a prescription so that I only have to take one pill twice a week. But if things got really bad and you can't go to the doctor anymore to get your prescription refilled, then, have plenty of vitamins on hand. I also recommend multivitamins because a lot of our freeze-dried food, emergency food, things like that don't have a lot of nutrition value to them. So having a good multivitamin can really help you get through. And then also, I keep these on hand. I have a few extra bottles of those. And those help with your joints, help with your brain function. They do a lot of things for you. So omega-3s, fish oils, things like that is a good vitamin to have on hand too. One thing that I didn't bring an example to show you is clothes, and that's because I'm not going to show you my socks and underwear, but especially socks and underwear, because we all know those things are what wear out the most in our clothes and what we have in our closets. So having some extra socks, extra pairs of underwear, you're probably not going to be able to wash your clothes nearly as often as you would like if it's a grid down situation. So having plenty of them on hand, especially for when they wear out, but also so that you don't have to wash quite as often. So that's just an idea to put out there, and you might also want to look into getting some more durable clothes, things like really good heavy-duty jeans. Carhartt makes some really good ones. The Levi's and Wranglers, not so much nowadays, not as good as they used to be. But look into, work clothes, things that are durable, heavy-duty, things that are going to last a while. Another thing that I didn't bring an example was glue. Super glue, wood glue, things like that. Maybe tubes of liquid nails, like construction adhesives, things like that. If you have to repair things or build things to help your situation along, those would be a good thing to have on hand. I don't think you really need to stock up on a mass quantity of those things, but have a few extra bottles on hand. Last but not least, tools. And this is something that I'm going to expand on in another video, so I didn't bring anything to show you. I'll do that in another video, but tools. Tools are very important, and tools do break down. Tools do get misused. They do break, and so having an extra set of a few items would be important to have on hand. Just a few things off the top of my head, and maybe an extra set of screwdrivers, an extra hammer, things like that. Maybe a couple extra ratchets. I've broken a ratchet, I've broken a hammer, and I've broken a lot of screwdrivers, so those would be a good idea to have for extra tools on hand. And like I said, I'll expand on that in another video. Well, that is all the ideas that I have for you guys today. I just thought it would be a good topic to get a good discussion going. So let me know in the comment section below some of the things that you see in these prepping videos on YouTube, some common items that you see people forgetting to add to their videos, and maybe I'll do another video on it another day. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time.